Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with the last part of this VTuber model, and before I take you to the face and show you how to layer the face, let me just continue with these hairlines and no. Okay, fine. Now for the face, I want you to know that we have separate places, right? The eyes, the eyebrows, the nose, and the mouth, right? For the eyes, we have a main lash, as you can see it, the one that I have painted. The rest of the lashes can go in the same layer, but I don't think it is going to be easy for the rigger at all to just like rig the eyes. So as you can see, I separate them like this by the curve. For example, we have these two other lashes on this side of the curve, and then we have these two other lashes on the top of the curve, and then we have these three lashes on the end of the curve. Okay, then we have a main lower shadow, and then you do the same thing, layer each lashes, not each lashes, okay, group them as much as you can, but do not put all of them inside of the same layer because it's not really easy to work with. Okay, your eyebrow can be inside of one ignore that ear. I'm sorry, but your eyebrow can be inside of one layer because you know, the rig that happens for the eyebrow is just so easy. It's the whole entire thing, it's the whole entire image that it's rigging. But now for the eyes, as you can see, I've painted the whole entire circle. Okay, because sometimes you just like you have the surprised eyes that is just so wide, so you need the whole entire circle, the iris of the eye, to show while doing that, right? So do it like this. For the top lashes and the lower lashes, you have a top lid and a lower lid, which helps the rigger to, while they're moving, to not move the face and disproportionate the face. Okay, so you attach a piece of skin with the same color of the skin underneath of the lower lash. You can just put it in a separate layer, even if you need to put it in a separate layer, or attach it to your main lash. In here you saw me just delete the upper lid, but I have just made a new layer and just put it inside of the other layer. Okay, so don't worry about that at all. But for now, to see how am I working and what I'm working with, I just put it in this section. Okay, so what was I talking about? Yeah, the upper lid and the lower lid. ADHD kicking in again, god damn it. But yeah, you just put that extra layer of a skin so you can, your rigger, if you're rigging yourself, can work around it easily without ruining the face. Okay, so for the eyes, as you can see, I'm not, you cannot see because you don't see the layers, I apologize for that, but I separate every single one of these shades and layers, the highlights, the darker shades, because have you ever seen those VTuber models that when they blink, you see that bounce on the light parts of their eyes? Yeah, to create that effect in the rigging, you need every single one of these parts being completely separated. Okay, so always remember that if you want that, you need to do this. You need to separate the highlights, the darkest shadows, and all these kind of things. Okay, so yeah, if you're using the mirror like me, don't forget that the highlights of the eye happen in the same direction. Okay, they're not opposite each other, they're not mirrored, they're in the same part. Okay, so now I'm doing the darkest and the lightest, and then you have the cute pink thing inside of the eye, right here, like this. I put it inside of another layer as well, just in case if they needed to just stretch it out, in case of like the head is moving down a little bit too much. I'm moving my head down, that's why you heard less of my voice. So yes, it's for that. Yep. Now go into the shadows and the eyelashes and the eyelids. I separate them as well in different layers, so just in case if they needed to like have access to these layers And for the nose, god damn it, like this nose, it didn't work out, okay? But I worked on the nose in another, like, I just closed the app, not did not close the app. I stopped painting. I looked back, looked at some of paintings of a nose and how it's done, and then I came back and made this happen, and I forgot to record it because I stopped the recording. Yeah, so. But you see me suffer with this nosy thingy. Yeah, you see that? It just goes from what is that nose to, oh, that nose makes a lot of sense. I like that. I like what I see. So for the lips and for the mouth, okay, for the mouth and the layers of the mouth, you have the upper lip, the lower lip, you have the shadows, okay, you have not the shadow, yeah, the shadows, of course, the shadows, and then the highlights, okay, and then you have the inner of the mouth, you have the tongue, you have the upper teeth and the lower teeth. Okay, so that's the layers. That's all the layers, and I usually make open mouth model as well to help the riggers to know how far the lips and the mouth opens or how it looks good on the model. Okay, so I just have that as well. You can include it, you cannot include it. If your rigger is a professional rigger, they don't need it. Okay, but I just include it just in case. Okay, so now working on the rest of the face. Don't forget the face line because it's a very important thing. I usually use pencil for this, not brushes, because it just makes it look a little bit more faded into the skin, a little bit more sitting on the skin. But yeah, do you see that? That's the hair shadow. That's called hair shadow. I have to stretch it out later. But yeah, for now it looks like that. But it has to be stretched a little bit. Just a little bit, tiny bit. So if the hair is just moving around, it's not just being cut off. Okay? Very painful process of art line. Very painful. And when I say painful, I mean it. I really do mean it. Yeah. God damn it. So. Yeah, I don't know why I put a dents there. But what's for? We don't have that. A real human body. Okay, make the skin shading a little bit less muddy. It looks a little bit muddy right now. And I want to just make it a little bit more alive. So, yeah, she looks so adorable. I love her face. I love these eyes. They're just so cute. She's so cute. Oh, I want to bite my painting right now. Damn it. So, for the ears, guys, I have two parts of the ears. I don't know. I have a underneath layer, which is a complete layer as well, and then I have this extra part, which is on the top of the hair. The layer that I have underneath, if I want to just bring it on the top of the layer of the hair, this strand that goes from the top of the hair and goes back to the back of the hair, it would it would be covered by the ear, so I had to cut it like this to put this extra layer on the top, and then I have an extra layer underneath as well. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So for the edges of this skirt, I wanted to add these pearls. You will see me just like add some pearls in it and then move on to the next part and then come back to it later. Because I started to think, oh, how about I just add these pearls into this section? And I was just like, yeah, I love that. I like that idea. It looks actually really good. I really like it. I like the fact that I was like, yeah, how about I add these pearls to this section? Looks good. Really good. I'm happy with that. So the pearls do not have to have any specific rhythm or something. I just went with whatever. It was so random. So boring. It was so frustrating. I did the first layer of this skirt and I was like, yeah, I have to do this 4 more times. 3, actually. 3 more times. So here we go. For the parts that is underneath of the hand, always remember you will have that. You can still see me just struggling with should I keep this flower or not? Yeah, I removed it, don't worry. And here is the part that I said I make open mouth model to just represent how the mouth uh, would look like if it's open. And yeah, it was too open. The upper jaw, the upper mouth doesn't move that much in talking or opening your mouth. It's most of the time the lower part of the mouth that moves. So you usually keep the upper mouth in wherever it is and open it from the lower jaw. Okay? The struggle is real, guys. The struggle. To make it look cute and not weird and not so related to uncanny valley or something like that. And here's the tongue that I showed that I told you. Then you have the teeth and yeah, something like that. So you can just, yeah. Yay! I'm figuring out how can I just like add the mouth lines, and I was just like, yeah, maybe no mouth lines. You're welcome. And I moved on to the gold section. So good, so good. If you cannot do it, it's okay. We don't do it. For the gold, I made a huge mistake, and that was pick the gold color. It looks so weird right now. This pick thing, this chosen part thing, that is so bubbly. But I made a really big mistake, and that was to pick a darker shade of the same gold. It's not how it's done, guys. You have to go a little bit more warmer, okay, and then a little bit darker. Just the same color, make it a little bit darker, and a little bit warmer. And that will be the perfect shade of shadow that you need to use. So in here I'm just trying to figure out that where it hits the lights, where it's bending, if it's bending inwards, outwards, how it should bend, how the light reflects from the bends and all these kind of things, because well, you have a flat surface and you have to make that flat surface to work for you, and by adding the shadows and the lights. So yep, I like how it turned out though. It looks so beautiful and so refined. How do you think it looks like? It looks so beautiful to me. I love it. And now I'm adding some shadows underneath of it. Well, because it's not dig deep inside of her skin. It's something that it's laying on her skin, so you have to have these shadows where it's more parted, the shadow fades out more. The closer it is to the skin, it will have sharper shadows. Always remember that. And yeah. Now working on the gold chains. Well, I thought that okay, like for the higher layer of the chains, it's closer to the skin, right? But the lower part, because you have more ups and downs on the body, the curves of the body, it will separate more, so the shadow is is further away from the chain itself. You have to always just like think about this. Always be aware of where you're putting what, how you're putting it, how you're just working your way around it, and all these kind of things. Okay, so And most probably I'm doing some layering and stuff in here. As you can see, like, yeah, I'm working on the layers, grouping them, putting them inside of the same folder. And I might just like cut it in here because you cannot just see it. Okay, I've moved on. Now, adding some shadows to the pier. I'm not going to render the pier on the skirt because they're not going to be seen that much, you know, like for VTuber models. How many times have a VTuber model talked with their skirt instead of their face, you know? That is the reason why, but I am going to render it, and here I'm deleting it. I am deleting it because of this. I wanted to add some pearls on the sleeve as well, but I should have changed the color for it because it's white and it doesn't look. Back to the boring section. We're back to making pearls. When I say it was boring, I mean it, guys. I truly mean it because it's a lot of okay, the next size, the next line, I have to keep continuing doing this. How long is gonna take? Oh my god, I'm just bored out of my mind. Please help me. That is why, like, yeah. But I was done. I wanted to kind of move on from the pearl section again, but I was like, okay, you know what? Let me just do it. But I gave up anyways. Here, as you can see, I told you I was thinking about removing the flower, and I did remove the flower, and I stretched the painting, the shapes and the lines on the dress, refined it a little bit more, and it looks good. It looks good. I like this better than the flower. It was too much. It was too much going in the middle section of her body, and I did not like that. So yeah, I don't know. I keep forgetting that my mirror is on, and I keep painting in the places that they are not mirrored, and I'm just like, oh, damn it. I have to just redo it in that part now. Oh, this is the gold piece that I talked about in the previous video. Was it previous video? I don't know. Yeah. I went for these like flowy things, as if like these are different chains that they are attached to the hair, and they are just moving around the hair, and they have just wrapped around the hair, some kind of thing like that. And I love this. I love this so much. When it was done, I was like, yeah, I need this in real life now, like right now. Thank you. So some parts of it is like wrapping around. It's a little bit less firm, so I try to just like make that look like it's not a firm chain. It's more of a flowy kind of a texture. So yeah, I was trying to just like pull it out to the hair. It didn't make sense, so I just removed it, that part, and then I stretch it from this side, coming from this part. You see, like it's flowy, so I just let it sink down a little bit before it goes into the hair, into that chunk or part of the hair. Yeah. Okay, we're almost done. I'm just doing the last touches, adding an earring for her. I struggled with this earring a lot because I didn't want it to look too chunky, but I wanted it to look so fancy looking at the very same time, so I just like left it as a simple line like this. I was like, this is fancy, this looks way fancier. than that whole entire thing that's wrapping around the ear. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. I know you know. That's it for today's video. Bye!